they're doing? Joy, they're sending 3 more people to the Justin Fields Pro Day. So they already sent their head coach, their GM, and their offensive coordinator to watch Justin Fields. And now they're sending their quarterback coach, their wide receiver coach, their director of college scout. Very interested in this pick. They want to trade that number 4 pick. But they want to create the illusion of interest. So I was talking to super agent Drew Rosenhaus last night. He talked about this. Years ago, he had a player he was representing named Willis McGahee. Great running back. And he got hurt in the bowl game, ripped his knee up. And so Drew Rosenhaus represented him, and he's sitting there waiting to be drafted, and nobody's drafting him. And every time ESPN takes a shot at McGahee, he's sitting there by himself. So Drew Rosenhaus calls him on his phone, and he says, I'm going to make it feel like he's on the phone with a team. McGahee picks up his phone. He's talking. And NFL teams, when they pan back to Willis McGahee, who's he talking to? Whoa. We like Willis McGahee. We were going to wait to the 3rd round. We got to move it to the 2nd round. And he got drafted by, I think, Buffalo. And Drew Rosenhaus, suddenly, all of a sudden, his phone lit up. Who's McGahee talking to? What team's he talking? Who's going to draft him? Well, Drew's like, I don't know. He's very interested. It was Drew calling his client to create the illusion of interest. And so Atlanta is very smart. They're going to send a caravan for Justin Fields. Now New England. Now Denver. Now Chicago. Maybe Washington. Oh, crap. We can't go move up to 5. We got to move up to 4. By the way, this is how Carolina, the second thing to this is very smart, is when you send a lot of people to these pro days and there's 4 or 5 other teams there that need a quarterback, you communicate with them. This is what Carolina did with the Jets. So Carolina sent their GM to a pro day, and the Niners were there and the Jets were there, and their GM talked to Joe Douglas, and we later found out that's how the Sam Darnold deal happened. Jets to Carolina. They meet at a pro day. They start texting and talking. This is why everybody loved the Combine. They hold it in Indianapolis every year. And it's known as like a 4-day party for executives. They go out drinking together. They have dinners together. They talk together. You just want to be in the rooms. That's where all this stuff starts. That's where all this stuff starts, these conversations at pro days. And so Sam Darnold ended up in Carolina because the GM of Carolina and Joe Douglas and the Niners people, they're all sitting around there watching Justin Fields, and they're talking, they're texting pretty soon, 2-3 days later, they make the deal. So, by the way, the Falcons yesterday, and they're really playing it up. It's really smart. The Falcons Twitter account yesterday put out a video of their general manager's interest in quarterbacks. His quote was, "We love stacking quarterbacks here in Atlanta." It's funny you've never done it before. Suddenly you have a great, keen interest in stacking quarterbacks. The illusion of interest. Drew Rosenhaus on the phone with Willis McGahee. Freaked everybody out. Who's he on the phone with? Oh, my God. They're going to take Willis McGahee. He was going to drop and say, somebody rushes up. Don't kid yourself. A lot of this stuff is gamesmanship in the NFL draft. A lot of it is gamesmanship. Joy with the news.
No.
Turn on the news. This is the Herdline News.
Well, maybe you're coming around to pro days after all.
Well, there is value to being in the room with people you may want to do a deal with.
Well, Justin Fields is holding his second pro day today at Ohio State. 7 teams have reportedly sent reps to watch Fields throw. One of the teams is the Panthers, despite trading for Sam Darnold last week. Offensive coordinator Joe Brady and quarterbacks coach Sean Ryan are expected to be there. The other teams in Columbus today are the 49ers, the Patriots, the Jets, the Broncos, the Falcons, as you just mentioned, and the Lions.
So ask yourself this. Carolina's got Teddy Bridgewater and Darnold, and they agree. When I lived in Manhattan Beach, restaurants are exploding. Why? Because people from the other side of town can take an Uber and have a second bottle of wine. They don't have to drive home. It's helped the restaurant industry. And I was thinking about this with Mac Jones of the 49ers. I saw a story this morning. Another story. Kyle Shanahan, John Lynch are going to take Mac Jones. And I'm like, this is my Uber. I can't get my arms around it. I don't understand it. He's the least athletic quarterback. And then I thought to myself, what it really tells you, it tells you how much confidence Kyle Shanahan has in his offense. Kyle Shanahan saying, I don't want the best athlete because the best athlete's going to run around and the best athlete's going to freelance and the best athlete's going to, like any great athlete, want to show his skills. If you could sing, you'd sing all day in the car in the shower. I don't want guys running out of my offense. And what Kyle Shanahan lost with Garoppolo, he lost trust. He lost trust in Jimmy G's health and his judgment. And he looks at Mac Jones and he goes, I'll trust him. He's not going to freelance out of plays. He's not going to ad-lib out of plays. And I keep looking at this like I don't understand it. But remember, Matt LaFleur and Kyle Shanahan run the same offense. So when LaFleur got to Green Bay, LaFleur told Aaron, stop ad-libbing. Stop freelancing. Here's the play. Make the easy throw. And Aaron just had his best year in a decade. And Matt LaFleur and Kyle run the exact same offense. And I look at Mac Jones and I'm like, he's my Uber. I don't get it. He's got a low ceiling. But if you trust your system, athletic quarterbacks are going to do what athletes would do. They're going to use their full range of skills. And there's been a lot of Super Bowls won in the last 15 years by Eli Manning and Peyton Manning and Drew Brees and Tom Brady and Phillip Rivers last year. Phillip Rivers won 12 games from the pocket. And Tom Brady ended up winning 15 games from the pocket if you count the Super Bowl. And Brees won 9. And Jared Goff, who's really unathletic, won 9. And is an interesting stat out there. Do you know what quarterback has the most passing yards in the history of the NFL through his first 16 games? Patrick Mahomes. Do you know who's second? Nick Mullins. Kyle Shanahan trusts his system. He doesn't want an athlete to screw it up. He just doesn't want an athlete to screw it up because an athlete's going to do what an athlete's going to do. He's going to run around because he can. I mean, Lamar Jackson hasn't developed the passing game quite yet. Why? Why would he? High school, college, NFL, runs around, wins 85% of his games. Now, eventually, you get hit a few times. Michael Vick said this. You get hit a few times. Steve Young walked into the NFL. He ran around. Then he got pegged in the ribs. And then Steve Young became a really good pocket passer. Russell Wilson ran around. Got hit a few times. Then he becomes a better pocket passer. So I'm trying to get my arms around Mac Jones, and I get that stat. Nick Mullins, number 2, NFL history, first 16 games. Kyle saying, my system's good. Matt LaFleur told Aaron Rodgers, stop ad-libbing. Stop running around. Just stay in the pocket. I'll create the read. You hit it. Be smart. Audible out. The more you run, the more the system fails. He wants a guy he can trust. By the way, this is why Kyle Shanahan, according to the story, loves Kirk Cousins. Kirk's not athletic enough to ad-lib. He'll just stay there and win games. And most of us look at Kirk Cousins and think, you can win 9, 10 games. And Kyle looks at him and says, no, I can win 12, 13, 14 games with Kirk because I trust my system. So we all fall into a habit. I do too. I try not to, but we all do. Is that we fall in love with offense. And let's be honest, it's more fun to watch. Would you rather watch Steph Curry or Ben Wallace? I mean, seriously. I mean, who would you want? Damian Lillard, Steph Curry, or for a lot of you, Ben Simmons, who's a great defensive guard. Ben Simmons is an all-time great defensive